Hi everyone, and welcome to what I think is the last of my stationery collection, and these are my highlighters and markers. So I definitely used to be a lot bigger on markers, but over the years I have downsized my collection a bunch, and these are sort of the only ones that have remained or that I have picked up recently that I really use. So we're gonna start off with the famous zebra mildliners. Once upon a time, I think I had all of the colors, but over the years of using them and just figuring out what colors I like to use and how I like to use mildliners, I have downsized my collection a bunch. We'll start with what I like about mildliners. Of course, the colors are really nice. I've really only kept and replaced the colors that I use constantly. So, for example, that gold is one that I love and have replaced once or twice after going through an entire pen. The things I don't like about mildliners, things plural, is a few things. So, the bullet tip, which is the smaller end, it, as you can see with the swatches, it varies a lot, and at first it's really nice and stiff and it gives you a really clean line, but as you use it more and more, the tip begins to fray and becomes bigger. So I am just not a huge fan of that. Like, as you can see, like my gold and my marigold are my older colors because the tips are so worn for the bullet tips. Another thing that I really don't like about mildliners is how light the ink is, but how much it so often bleeds through papers. I think it even bleeds through my rhodia dot pad. I have no idea how the colors can be so mild, but the bleed is so great. Yeah, it's a huge gripe of mine. Again, I really downsized my mildliner collection over the years because I hate how much it bleeds through paper, especially the paper that I like to use, like the MD notebook paper. It still bleeds through sometimes. So, yeah, greatly downsized my collection, and honestly, I could do with downsizing this one even more. Really don't like that dark gray color, honestly. The light gray really is all you need if you need a gray mildliner. So yeah, and look at how giant the tip is on my grad. Anyway, I digress. I will use these markers until they are dry and dead, but I don't know if I'm going to be repurchasing too many more. The next set of highlighters I think are actually going to be my replacement for the mildliners. These are the pentel fitlines, and they come in two versions. So there's the regular fitline that comes in like the neon highlighter, you know, what you would usually expect from a highlighter color, and then there are the pentel fitline for clena collection, so it's made for the clena ballpoint pen, and these come in a lot more mild colors. The color selection is not nearly as robust as the mildliner selection, but I think that for the highlighters, the ink just does not bleed nearly as badly as the mildliners, and I like that the bullet tips are a little more rich in color than the highlighter, so you really get like a contrast. And personally, I prefer the bullet tip to be a lot more rich in color than the highlighter. So I like these highlighters a lot. I wish they had more colors because I would honestly replace all of my mildliners with these. The next set of highlighters are my uni propus windows. These are my go-to for when I'm reading papers because I'm an idiot who does not know when to stop highlighting. So I love the fact that this has a little piece of plastic in the middle of the highlighting tip that allows you to see the text that you're highlighting. I've gone through so many of these. My friends keep buying me some. I buy myself tons. In my undergraduate and graduate studies, they've just been so clutch with the color range and the window. It just really helps with reading through papers or highlighting my notes. Yeah, again, the colors I'm not like a huge fan of, but because there's so many different colors and because their purpose for me is just to highlight certain parts of papers, I go through a lot. These are pretty great highlighters. They do the trick. Maybe not the most aesthetic, but they do the trick for sure. Alright, this next set of pens are another recent favorite discovery. So these are the Stabilo Pen 68s. I've been really into bullet tip marker pens after discovering the Zebra clickart, but once I discovered the Stabilo Pen 68, I jumped ship from the Zebra clickart crew, and I now am fully on the Stabilo Pen 68 hype train, I guess. I love these pens. The tip is great, doesn't fray, at least in all of the long time that I've been using it. The color selection is really great. I have a very limited color selection, but I really love the colors that I do have. And yeah, it's super comfortable in the hand despite the small barrel. And I also have the brush pen, and I really like the brush pen as well. So highly recommend the Stabilo Pen 68 if you're looking for a really good bullet tip marker. And this last set of pens is going to be the aforementioned Zebra clickart. I have been using these for quite some time. I've gone through a black Zebra clickart at least 2 or 3 times. It's a really nice bullet tip marker pen, but I kind of have the same issue that I have with the mildliners with these pens. It's Zebra again, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but there's a lot of bleed through when it comes to these markers. The fraying isn't as bad as the bullet tip on the mildliners, but the bleed through is really bad. I'm not a huge fan of the color selection. The shades are just a little too bright and, I don't know, typical, I guess. I still like the black, and it's good for small bullet tip marker writing, but I don't think I'll be repurchasing any more clickarts after this. So that's it for all of the highlighters and markers that I own. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!